the mainstream media is still freaking out. They're still freaking out that Johnny Depp, a man, was defamed and that a jury found that he was defamed. Now, if you remember, so I didn't go over it, but Elaine Bredhoff, Amber Heard's stupid lawyer, went out on Good Morning America and the Today Show on CBS Mornings and anywhere she can get her paws on, and she get her hand 15 minutes of fame in. She went out and threw the jury under the bus, threw the judge under the bus, threw the court staff under the bus. She threw the concession stands people under the bus. I mean, she threw everybody under the bus. And that's what Amber Heard's team has been doing. They've been throwing everybody under the bus. They've been doing this to try and get an appeal. That's their goal. Now, Amber Heard doesn't have the money to do it. She don't have the money to do an appeal, baby. She don't got the money at all. Not at all. But she's still wanting to go get an appeal done, which is very funny. So Camille Vasquez and Ben Chu, the two best lawyers in the world, Johnny Depp's team went out and did their own tour. Now, they're not looking for their 15 minutes of fame. They got to do this in response to the shitty lawyers of Amber Heard, who went out and and wanted to throw everybody under the bus for their loss. Now, I'm going to tell you about some narratives that the media is trying to create because they just can't tell that they lost.
I'm here with Johnny Depp's lawyers, Camille Vasquez and Ben Chu, sitting down for their first interview since the blockbuster verdict that Depp was defamed by ex-wife Amber Heard. Welcome to you both. Camille, let me begin with you. I think the verdict surprised a lot of legal experts. They thought it was a very uphill fight from the beginning for you all. What was the key to victory?
Before we go into what was the key to victory and what is the key to victory, and it's going to be very obvious, the law was not on Johnny Depp's side. The facts were on his side. The law was on Amber Heard's side. So according to all the lawyers who are smarter than me, because I'm an idiot YouTuber, I'm a political YouTuber, he had an uphill battle and he had more of a difficulty trying to prove that she defamed him. And boy, did they do a great job. But what was the key to victory, Camille?
I think the key to victory was focusing on the facts and the evidence, and Johnny's opportunity to speak the truth for the first time. It was 6 years in the making, and I think he was able to connect with the jury and the general public and tell what really happened in this relationship.
Now, this is very key because if you really look at it, Johnny's story has always remained linear. It's always remained the same. Amber Heard in 2016 alleged 3 allegations or instances of abuse. And then at the end of 2016, it went to 7. Then you go into 2018 when she drops that op-ed and it goes to like 14, 15 instances of abuse. And then you get to 2020 and it really starts going up and up and up to the point where, it goes to the same, about 15 of them, plus about 5 or 6 instances of sexual assault. And then you get to 2022 and she adds more and more and more and more and more to the point where you don't even know if she's telling the truth. So that's right. You got to go by the facts in this victory.
He wasn't in the courtroom for the verdict. What was his reaction when you told him?
Now, before he answers this question, Amber Heard's team was, oh my God, he wasn't in the courtroom. He doesn't need to be in the courtroom, by the way, legally. Just the attorneys. If Amber Heard wanted to skip, she could have, but she was there for optics. And boy, did she look bad.
He was over the moon. It was like the weight of the world had been taken off his shoulders. And I feel that finally, after 6 years, he's gotten his life back.
He also...
Yeah, that's a good thing. And a lot of sources are saying that Johnny Depp feels the weight off of his shoulders because for so long, someone who was at the very top of their game, the most established and beloved person in Hollywood just about, was at the top of their game, and this person went to destroy him. That's what happened. And finally he can smile he can smile because the whole weight of the world is off of his shoulders. He can live free. He can be free and be who he wants to be and who he really is. And he can move on with his life. But see, they are not going to move on. Amber Heard's team.
He also went on TikTok yesterday thanking his supporters on social media. What role does social media play in this verdict?
Now, social media had nothing to do with this, and Ben's going to say that, but that's one of their other narratives, aside from the other ones I went over in another video.
My view is that social media played no role whatsoever. This was a decision made by the jury on the evidence presented by both sides. And as Camille said, it was overwhelmingly in Mr. Depp's favor.
That's right, exactly. The jury was told not to look at it, not to look at it, not to look at it. But this is their narrative, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to hear them keep saying, oh, it was the social media. It was social media. Listen, social media was impacted by the court because we were able to see what was going on in that trial. And Amber Heard, she hated that we got to see it because she did not want people to question her, and she was waiting for that media spin in case she lost, although they thought she would win, just for all of us to not be able to come out and say, no, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. She needed that, and she didn't get that because Johnny fought his ass off to have this televised. But again, they are trying to say it was social media. No, the jury was given evidence.
Ms. Heard's lawyers put out a statement yesterday saying the verdict was a setback for women's rights. And they went on to say that it's unseemly and unprofessional for you all to be, quote, taking a victory lap for setting back decades of how women can be treated in the courtroom. How do you respond to that?
Now, they are saying that, which is so funny. Notice the rich hypocrisy. The rich fucking hypocrisy of the fucking team of Amber fucking Heard. Notice that Amber Heard's lawyers can go whine and whine. Oh, where we lost. It's your fault. It's their fault. It's not my fault. They can go on Good Morning America and the Today Show and get softball interview questions by all those guys and CBS Mornings where they got a little bit of pushback, not too much. They can go do it, but the moment these guys go do it, oh, it's a victory lap. No, they're here to state the facts of the case because you are throwing everybody under the goddamn bus. That's what's happening. And by the way, it's not a setback for women, and I think Camille's going to respond here. But if you think about it, right, they're also saying that, oh, what's next? Movies and merchandising? Yeah, you know who they were having cast as the aggrieved person in these movies before? Amber Heard. But now, beautiful. It's looking like she's on a downfall, and I love it.
I think it's disappointing. We're only speaking about what happened in this case, right? And the facts in this case were overwhelmingly positive for Johnny, and the verdict speaks for itself.
Now, this is a huge problem because now this is destroying their narrative. It's taking away their control that they have on this narrative that Me Too is getting a setback, that it's setting it back, and it's not, because see, the case was about one man being abused and one woman being the abuser. Somebody was abusive, and it turns out Amber Heard was, according to the jury. So that's what they're saying here. But see, there's a problem. They don't like this because to them, they think that Me Too doesn't actually involve men as well. Men too. They think Me Too is only for women, forgetting that yes, although it's not as prevalent, apparently, men do get assaulted and abused just like women. They get mentally and physically and psychologically abused just like women do. But see, they don't want to do that. The media is pushing this narrative of Me Too. And that producer behind George Stephanopoulos, he's telling them, make sure you ask this fucking question about Me Too. Let's go.
How about the broader criticism, though? It's not just from Heard's teams. Victims advocates have argued that the verdict is going to have a chilling effect on domestic violence victims, and it's a blow to the Me Too movement.
I think our response to that is we encourage any victim to come forward. Domestic violence doesn't have a gender.
Now, see, there it is. Domestic violence doesn't have a gender. It doesn't matter if you're a man, a woman, he, she, or they, or there, or thems, or there. I don't give a damn. It affects everybody. And that's the problem that, these victims advocates, you mean the victims advocates that sided with Johnny? They're not citing any. I love how George doesn't cite any. Of course he's not. He's a fucking cuck. So, this whole thing is, oh, well, it's a setback for women and it's a setback for the Me Too movement. It's a problem. It's going to send a chilling effect. No, what it's going to do is it's going to say, you better have your shit straight and your facts straight, because now men have had someone say, hey, it's possible for men to be abused too. And the media doesn't like it because before it was just all women. No one believed that a man could be abused.
So you don't see this as a setback to the movement in any way, shape, or form?
We do not. We believe that the verdict speaks for itself. The facts are what they were. The jury made a unanimous decision based on those facts.
Wait, during your cross-examination, what was your impression of Ms. Heard's impression on the jury?
Now, I love how Camille is looking here like, I really want to talk some real shit, some real trash right now. But how am I going to answer this? Watch this.
I think that her impression on the jury was
creepy.
What it was. I think
Terrible.
Something that I focused on and we focused on in that cross-examination was using her words against her.
Yep.
And it was very important for us to, every question that was asked was tied to something she had said previously. And I think the jury got to see and the world got to see and hear from Ms. Heard in that relationship on every single topic.
Yeah. See, that's a great way. It was amazing. They literally got every single statement and created this puzzle for the jury. They solved that puzzle. Look at these patterns, jurors. Everything that Amber Heard ever said, every audio they ever played, every statement she ever wrote or said out loud, they used her own words against her. And even in her testimony, Camille Vasquez, the boss-ass queen, strategized with Ben Chu and Rebecca and all those other guys. And they decided that they and Wayne Dennison, they would actually use her words against her, tie it together, and the jury could see, based on what Amber Heard was saying, how the relationship really was.
And George, I think there was a real contrast. Johnny took ownership of a lot of things.
That's right.
And it seemed at times, and perhaps it came through to the jury, that she had an answer for everything and she wasn't taking accountability for anything. And I think that made a difference.
Now, see, that's another one. Does Johnny Depp have a really bad drug problem? Yes. A substance abuse problem with alcohol too and drugs? Absolutely. Does he have real world problems? Absolutely. Does that make you automatically an abuser or a monster, as they called him? Absolutely not. And by the way, that's exactly right. Amber Heard had answers for absolutely everything, but would never own up to her own actions, would never admit any faults. And Johnny Depp, well, guess what? He came across as likable, and she came across as a liar. Because when you can take accountability for your actions, well, it goes better for you in court. And we saw that for Johnny.
Heard's lawyers say she plans to appeal the verdict. She doesn't have the money to pay for the judgment. And you all have said that the goal is not to impoverish Ms. Heard. Is it possible where we could see a settlement where she forgoes the appeal in return for Mr. Depp waiving any monetary damages?
Well, George, we obviously can't disclose attorney-client communications, but as Mr. Depp testified, and as we both made clear in our respective closings, this was never about money for Mr. Depp. So this was about restoring his reputation, and he's done that.
Now, see, that's exactly right. And in his testimony, he said, regardless of what happens, I told the truth. I don't care about the money. And I don't care about the money. And they said that in the closing argument. But what you have to ask yourself is this. She is going on the warpath, on a rampage, because she's a sore fucking loser and she doesn't like that she lost. So she's just going to keep going after him and after him and after him, and she's not going to stop. Now, how do you stop that? How can you say she'll move on and stop if she doesn't feel the monetary punishment? That's what that $5 million was, which is now $350 million, but now it's $10 million. If she doesn't even feel that monetary punishment, how is she not going to stop? Because she was willing to violate the NDA of the divorce. What makes you think she would not violate this and NDA if they were to do one? Again, you cannot trust her. But again, if he was to, this is again hot topic here. If now the media is going to say, well, if he doesn't forgive it, then he's a terrible person. And if he does, he's so weak. See, he's the abuser.
So you're not disclosing any privileges, but it sounds like that's something that could be on the table, but it's up to Ms. Heard.
Again, we have to be careful what we say, but this was about Mr. Depp's reputation. That was what it was about for him.
Your life has changed a lot in the last several weeks. You got made partner this week. Congratulations.
Thank you very
Both
much.
of you have also become something of...
Before I let that go on, look at this. She became partner because everybody in Hollywood, every agent, every law firm was knocking at her friggin' door. And the CEO of Brown Rudnick said, holy shit, we're about to lose a great superstar in our law firm. We need to lock her down. And that's why she became a partner with Ben Chu. And they chose her. Great. Now, everybody on Johnny Depp's team is winning. Johnny Depp, he went on TikTok, and in the first 2 hours, he got about 2 million followers, I think it was. And then he got 10 million in one day. Instagram, he got about the same in a day or something within the first 2 hours. He's the fastest growing person ever on both platforms, is what I'm seeing. And by the way, a lot of other people on his side are winning too. And this is what they cannot take on Amber Heard's team.
Social media stars, how has it changed? What does it feel like?
It's been surreal and, if I'm being honest, a bit overwhelming. But if I can be an inspiration to young women that want to go to law school and study and work hard, then it was all worth it.
Now, see, that's a difference between Amber Heard and her team. Her team and her are all about me. It's all about me. It's all about me. I'm impoverished. I'm this. I have the problem. Me. I'm the best. What did this awesome woman just say? This woman just said, hey, I don't really like social media presence. A little bit overwhelming for me. We're not used to that. But if I can inspire other young women to enjoy school, go to law school, get a law degree, become lawyers, become judges, become legal scholars, become anything, and I can encourage them to stay in school and go for it and have great and enriching lives, then I think it's all worth it for me because I did it for them. Notice what's lacking in Amber Heard's team is that.
You made the choice to go to Virginia for this trial. How much of a difference did that make?
I think Virginia was a good venue for some legal and other reasons, and it has a fabulous court system, tremendous judges, and fair juries. And I think the evidence was listened to carefully on both sides by the jury, and again, it came overwhelmingly in Johnny's favor.
Yeah, see, Amber Heard was angry, furious, because she wanted it in California. Why California, ladies and gentlemen? Because California is actually a woman's state. If you get divorced, it takes years to get divorced. That's what it feels like because it's all about the women. It is an imbalance to all men in California where it's all men and women in a courtroom and the men always lose. The women always usually win 99% of the time, 99.99999% of the time. And she wanted to go into court and at least get it thrown out because how dare Johnny Depp, a man, tell the world that he's a victim of domestic violence and domestic abuse. And by the way, that's what she told him to do. She said, tell the world, Johnny, tell them I, Johnny Depp, a man, am a victim of domestic abuse. Tell them. Let's see if the jury or the judge or the world believes you. Let's see who's on your side. And he did, and he won, and we did believe him. But either way, She wanted it at least thrown out because it's a man speaking about being abused. And that's not popular in California. It's all about the women being abused. And if you're not a woman being abused, California doesn't give a damn about you. That's why she wanted it there. And boy, did she lose that battle too.
Ms. Heard did win on one count of defamation. Will you be appealing that?
Again, I think it's premature to say, but if you look at the context of the verdict, and it was a total win for Johnny.
Thank you both very much.
Thank you very much, George.
She tried to ruin his life. She tried to do anything and everything to make sure that his life was completely gone. His career was destroyed. His reputation was destroyed. He would never be allowed anywhere in the world again. In the streets of Hollywood, nowhere. And that's what she gets. She got punished for that. That one tiny little win that she got is nothing compared to what Johnny got. It's not, because what Johnny got was all of his counts approved by the jury that, yes, she was abusive. Yes, she defamed him. Yes, her statements were false. Yes, she acted with malice. And that's the important thing to remember, ladies and gentlemen. And if you notice, look at the utter professionalism from this team. They did not try and bash the other side. They just listed the facts. And quite frankly, they did the job I possibly couldn't, because I would be tearing Amber Heard's team's asses apart. So, yeah, it's incredible how Amber Heard's team reacted to them going out and acting all mad because, oh, they're taking a victory lap, they're going to all these talk shows. Meanwhile, they did it themselves. And as Ben Chu said on Law and Crime Network, they need to look in the mirror, because that's exactly what they did. And these guys were more professional about it.